Spivak, in her chapter on collectivities, explores how groups or collectivities are formed and questions how we think about identity, culture, and belonging. She begins by asking, who are we when we talk about comparative literature? And how can we teach or think about diversity and human values without just assuming we already understand what those things mean? She turns to Derrida's book Politics of Friendship, where he explains how difficult it is to create true human connection. According to Derrida, friendship involves uncertainty and risk. It is not always clear who our friends are or how groups form. He points out that friendship and democracy are tied together in strange ways. Often in the past, democracy was built around the idea of brotherhood, leaving out women and others. She uses this idea to suggest that when we build academic disciplines or political groups, we must remember that they are always incomplete and messy. She explains that often in universities we treat literature as if it can clearly show us what people and cultures are like. But this can be dangerous if we reduce books to just examples of identity politics. For example, if we read literature only to prove what we already think about race, gender, or nation, we miss the deeper meanings. Instead, we should let literature teach us about uncertainty, contradictions, and the complex ways people relate to each other. To support this, she points out to Virginia Woolf's A Room of One's Own, where the writer imagines a world where women love and support each other but still return to traditional roles. She sees this as a hopeful sign that literature can help us imagine new kinds of relationships that are not limited to gender or identity categories. She refers to African and South Asian cultures she has worked with, where she sees flexible and open forms of community that don't always match Western ideas of family or politics. To build better collectivities, especially in education, we must go beyond our comfort zones. We should study languages that are disappearing, listen to voices from the global south, and include people who are often ignored in academic work. She shares her own experience doing grassroots work in rural India, helping train teachers and support small schools. This is one way of learning from the ground up, not just reading about cultures but working within them. She believes comparative literature should involve this kind of careful ethical engagement. It is not just about comparing texts but about understanding the lives behind them. Instead of using literature to fit people into fixed categories, we should let it show us how unpredictable and varied human experiences are. By doing this, we can form more honest and thoughtful communities in our classrooms and beyond.